today's headlines. Party chief urges tank and armor corps to uphold solidarity, cooperation, and collective achievement. And later on, a Prime Minister orders calm, flexible, and effective tariff negotiations with the U.S. Good evening. You're watching today's headlines, where we bring you the top stories of the day. Party General Secretary Tô Lâm, the Secretary of the Central Military Commission, has called on the Tank and Armor Corps to uphold their long-standing tradition of solidarity, cooperation, and collective achievement. He made the statement during Tuesday's visit to the Corps. And visiting the Tank and Armor Corps Brigade 201 training ground, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm expressed his satisfaction with the unit's growth and development, recognizing it as one of the Vietnam's People's Army's key forces. The party chief believed that under the leadership of the Central Military Commission and the Ministry of National Defense, that the Corps would successfully carry out his assigned duties, contributing significantly to building a strong Vietnam People's Army and effectively safeguarding the country in the new era. And also on Tuesday, Party General Secretary Tô Lâm had a phone call with the President of the African National Congress, ANC, and the President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa. And during the phone call, both sides agreed to strengthen political trust and also enhance the effectiveness of the Partnership for Cooperation and Development framework between Vietnam and South Africa. The two sides agreed to promote economic, trade, and investment cooperation, enhance cooperation in education, defense, security, and research, and expand cooperation in several areas. The two leaders also affirmed their mutual commitment to promoting multilateralism and cooperation regarding regional and international issues, and they shared a vision for a world that respects international law. Now, meeting voters in Củ Chi and Hóc Môn districts ahead of the 9th session of the National Assembly, State President Lương Cường affirmed his willingness to fulfill his duties as a representative of the people. The Vietnamese state president noted that under the leadership of the party, National Assembly, and the government, many important policies and long-term strategic plans have been introduced and implemented. These include administrative reforms, restructuring government agencies, the improvement of local governance, the elimination of temporary and dilapidated houses, the development of social housing, and the abolition of school fees for students. And regarding Ho Chi Minh City, State President Lương Cường urged the city to seize the opportunities ahead and continue to lead in implementing revolutionary policies and strategies. Now, in our economic news, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired a government standing committee meeting on Tuesday to review preparations for a delegation tasked with negotiating trade issues with the United States. And this marks the 5th meeting convened by the Prime Minister to implement the conclusions and directives of the Central Party Committee, the Politburo, and Party General Secretary Tô Lâm in response to the U.S. tariff policy.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh stated that Vietnam has responded to the United States reciprocal tariff policy in a timely, flexible, and effective manner. Looking ahead, the Prime Minister instructed ministries, sectors, and especially the government's negotiation delegation to prepare thoroughly for the upcoming talks. He emphasized the importance of aligning all negotiation efforts with the guidance of the Politburo, the Party General Secretary, and the government in accordance with the party's foreign policy stance.
Negotiation is key to achieving a long-term and sustainable trade balance with the U.S. Our approach must be calm, firm, and flexible, not rushed or perfectionist. While protecting our national interests, we must also respect the interests of others and not go against our ethics and the cultural values of the Vietnamese people. We aim to solve problems without creating new ones, using logical, respectful, and mutually beneficial arguments while safeguarding our core interests.
the Prime Minister urged ministries, sectors, and localities to continue addressing U.S. concerns while strengthening institutions and implementation efforts to promote development and protect trade. This includes tackling issues like product origin, smuggling, trade fraud, and counterfeit goods. He highlighted that this situation presents an opportunity for Vietnam to restructure its export dynamics, diversify markets and products, improve quality, reduce costs, and embrace high-tech, green, circular, and sharing economies.
Vietnam has disbursed the equivalent of $2.3 billion into innovation and startup activities in 2024, and the figure was announced at the National Innovation Investment Forum. In 2024, 141 investment deals were made by international funds and foreign partners. And notably, deals ranging from $100 to $300 million have surged 2.7 times compared to last year. This highlights a growing appetite for investing in large-scale companies with moderate risk profiles. And the increased pace of deal-making reflects investor confidence, even as global venture capital and private equity flows continue to decline. Coming up next, Vietnamese soldiers prepare for a Red Square parade in Moscow. An original opera, Carmen, graces Hanoi stage for the first time. Welcome back to VTV News. Now, the Army Officer Training School number 1 is in intensive training to represent the Vietnam People's Army at a parade in Moscow's iconic Red Square to mark the 80th anniversary of Russia's victory in the Great Patriotic War, May 9th. And at the assignment ceremony, the Ministry of National Defense leader stressed that this is an honorable mission. The Central Military Commission and the ministry require soldiers to uphold the traditions of Uncle Ho's soldiers, set an example in their duties, maintain a strict military discipline, and serve as messengers of Vietnam's friendship with the world. The Vietnam Cultural Heritage Preservation Support Fund, in collaboration with Dr. Phạm Quang Nghị, former Politburo member and former secretary of the Hanoi Party Committee, held a ceremony this morning to donate copies of his book, That Place is a Battleground, to various institutions and organizations. The event marks the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification. The book is a collection of diary entries and notes written by Phạm Quang Nghị during his time on the southern battlefront, and it captures personal memories and shared experiences of a generation that lived through a brutal war. And in related news, a total of 150 artifacts and documents were introduced to the public at the exhibition titled The Landscape of a United Country on Tuesday morning by the Vietnam National History Museum. And the collection is divided by time periods from July 1954 to June 1976, featuring key events such as the Northern people welcoming Southern soldiers, the North's socialist construction, the founding of the Liberation Army of South Vietnam, and the Liberation Front flag flying over the Saigon Presidential Palace. And the exhibition helps the public gain a deeper understanding of the country's drive for reunification and the unbreakable bond between the North and South. The exhibition will remain open until August 2025. And in other cultural updates, the world-famous opera Carmen, a timeless masterpiece celebrating its 150th anniversary, will finally debut at the Hồ Gươm Theater. And Vietnam will be the first destination in Southeast Asia for a faithful recreation of Carmen's first 1875 iteration, promising local audiences a world-class musical experience.
Revived by the Royal Operas of Versailles, the Palazzetto Bruzane, and the Rouen Normandie Opera House, Carmen at the Hồ Gươm Theatre will faithfully recreate the original 1875 production, from stage design and costume to sound and setting.
What makes this special is that the French team has handcrafted every prop with remarkable attention to detail.
We were genuinely impressed by the Vietnamese team's warm hospitality, thoughtful organization, and professional coordination. Vietnam and its people have inspired us deeply, and we are more prepared than ever to present this classic opera to opera lovers here.
Carmen brings with it detailed stage directions to vibrant set sketches and costume design. The performance will bring Vietnamese audiences to 19th century Seville, Spain, where Carmen, the symbol of passion, freedom, and individuality, is told in its purest original spirit.
We hope to deliver an experience of refined excellence. Carmen will allow audiences to fully immerse themselves in the 19th century essence of opera while celebrating and preserving the timeless value of classical art.
More than just a performance, Carmen in Vietnam serves as a cultural bridge where European artistic heritage meets the contemporary spirit of Vietnam.
And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that is all for today's headlines. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app VTVgo or check out our YouTube channel VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.